morning, everyone, and we are going to look at Pirkei Avot, uh, chapter 6. We had finished up chapter 5 many months ago before the onset of the high holidays, and we took a little break, and now we are going to look at some of the most important parts, at least as I've come to understand it, of Pirkei Avot. Perek Shishi starts off with our sages taught uh, in the language of the Mishnah, and of course the Mishnah is the great encyclopedia of Jewish knowledge that will turn into the Talmud, which is the rabbis' um, really their comments on the Mishnah. And Rabbi Meir Omer. So Rabbi Meir is, and I'm reading, and if you want to join me on chapter 6 in Pirkei Avot, we can certainly find a way to get you the appropriate and a good volume of that. But so we're just going to get started, and we'll do this a couple of times a week. But Rabbi Meir, who is one of the most important rabbis, the classical rabbis, about 2,000 years ago, says, Kol ha'osek b'Torah lishma. So anyone that occupies themselves, that you spend time, that it is something that you make time for, it becomes a working part of you, it becomes a really fundamental part of your life. That's what osek means, that one busies himself in Torah just for the sake of Torah, that you're not looking, Torah lishma is not that you're looking for anyone to say, my gosh, that's a really wonderful thing that you learn. Where did you learn it from? And you say, I learned it from Torah, or that you're getting some kind of credit, or that you want people to think that you're knowledgeable, that you just study Torah because it is what you do. It becomes a part of you. That's what he's referring. Zochei devarim arbe. And it goes to say, blessed is he who chooses them in their teachings. And so whoever occupies himself with the study of the Torah for its own merits, for its own sake, will get many, many things. But I think Devarim doesn't necessarily mean things here. It means that you will begin to have words in which to understand life. Zoche Devarim Arbe, that you will have a way in which to go through the world. Not that you'll get some kind of good tidings from God, that you'll get more money, that you'll get a bigger house, that you'll get more things, that you'll merit things. It's not about that. It's that you will be able to have the ability, Devarim means words, that you will be able to have an inner dialogue with yourself and then ultimately others, but that you'll be able to really get a center of who you are. Ultimately, what is the product of Torah? To get a better understanding of what life is. We'll never truly understand that question, what is life? But if you want a better understanding of what life, creation, how we enter into the world, how it is that we live in this world, shouldn't we root it in something? Shouldn't we root it in the Jewish faith, into Torah, into study, into trying to be better, into trying to grow? How many of us are trying to figure out one way of doing things, one way to figure out the answer, one way to figure out how we should go and enter into the world, and we look at this as though we're going to find the ultimate answer. And that's not what it's about, is that we study Torah so that we can get the words to express what is going on inside, to understand what our will is, what God's will is, to understand what is expected from us, to understand what it is and how we should go through this world, so that we can figure out a way in which to express that, the expression of the human heart, the human mind, whatever you mean to call it. That is truly what Torah is helping us to do, that when we occupy ourselves with Torah, that we occupy ourselves with something, a blueprint, a plan in which to help us put into words what it is that is expected of us. And it goes on further to say, furthermore, the person is worthy that the whole world shall have been created because of him. I wanted just to speak briefly, and then we'll close for the day, about creation. Is not the most important aspect of our lives that we were created by God, that you are and I are a creation, that we are a part of this world that was uniquely made. What a wonderful creation! What a wonderful opportunity for us to really express our joy that we have a shot, we have a chance, that we have been created for just the sole purpose to appreciate creation. Remember that all of our prayers in the Jewish faith and all of our blessings are to uplift the moments that we have, that we get to experience because we are alive. If you look around and you see the world, the world is really going quite well. The sun is coming up. The world is moving forward in a way that it has been for thousands and millions of years. And here we have a chance to observe it, to be a part of it. We are part of that creation. And so it goes that the world was created for me, meaning the individual. This is what Rabbi Meir is saying. For furthermore, he is worthy that the whole world shall have been created because of him. Uh, how it is that we interact with that creation is really important. Many of us interact with creation. We walk around unconscious of what's going on. We walk around unable to really connect with what is going on around us. We we enter into a psychological kind of understanding of the world, but not really the other parts of it, the spiritual and the emotional aspects of life. So what Rabbi Meir is saying here is that we can truly understand that the most important thing is that we are alive, right? Remember, our tradition says l'chaim, to life, that the most important part of our life is that we are alive, that we are able to experience God's creation. When you and I truly realize that, when we truly appreciate that, and we truly accept that, then everything else seems to fall in line. But that is one of the most difficult concepts, I should say, or realizations there is. Um, a person, he is called a friend, beloved. He loves God. He loves the created beings. He brings joy to God. He brings joy to the created beings. The Torah, that garbs him with humility and fear. It makes him fit to be righteous, pious, upright, and faithful. It keeps him far from sin and brings him near to good deeds. So it goes on to really say that how is it that we are going to be in this world? Do people consider you a friend? What is a friend? Someone who ultimately that we share our life with. And how it is that we share, that certainly we're not just talking about emotionally and mentally. We're also talking about spiritually. We're also talking about your energy that you give to the relationship, how that relationship is. When we talk about uh, um, how is it that people will call you? Will they call you somebody who is a person in which they can certainly feel that connection, that communication? And we're going to do one little more and just say beloved, meaning that does that friendship create space for love? Remember that love is not something that oftentimes we think that I have a feeling and then, I love you and we have a relationship based on that. But we all know that love isn't really necessarily something that is just based in emotion. Love is really about the conditions that we create to make love possible. I've been talking about this a little bit at our services, that the conditions that we make really allow for love. That God, in a sense, there's a link to this, that God created this world in its way. And isn't it just a wonderful world in which we live? Many of us are unable to experience it in its fullness, but it is one that we can rely on. It is one that has given us all of our needs. And is that not an environment where love can truly develop and grow? And so too with us, and how we become friends, how we become connected to other people is really by creating an environment for love. If you take, for example, and I talked about this months ago, was that, when we first start dating someone, aren't we in the best mood? Aren't we in a place in which we are trying to maybe even impress the person? When my wife, told me to take out the garbage or do the dishes when we're early in the relationship, it's just like, of course, would love to. And then after some time, maybe I'm a little less enthusiastic. But isn't it true that when we create the environment for love to happen, that when and this is just a simple example, when I take out the garbage, when I do the dishes, when I help around the house, is it not creating an environment in which love can really thrive? We do this with just everything that thrives and grows. We have to set the conditions for it. The world in which we live in is like that as well, that we create the conditions. Gardening was really big over the past couple of months during the COVID lockdown, and that when you're gardening or even farming, that you have to create an environment. There has to be an environment in which flowers or any kind of agriculture can grow. Um, if you're seed and you just throw it outside, it's not necessarily going to grow. So you have to create the conditions, and it's so too with love, that we create the conditions. And so he is called friend. That truly a friend is one who has created the conditions. That's what it is to be a friend: is that you create a condition in which love can truly grow. May we all find time today to truly be friends. We'll pick up in the coming days and finish up this Mishnah, that we will look at a few more things that Rabbi Meir says. May today we work and focus on creating conditions in which love and tolerance and gratitude can grow.